वेल व्ह्युअर्स, वेलकम बॅक टू जर्नो स्पीक. आम्ही उलयले आता की इफी बद्दल थोडे मुद्दे आम्ही कव्हर केले. इफी कशे भशेन जाले, म्हणजे फाटली 8 वर्सां इफी खातीर गोंयांत कितें बदल जाले, इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर कितें वाडलो, इफी खातीर कितें कितें जालें गोंयांत आनी कितें आतां आमी इफी हाजे मुखारय गोंयांत उरतली. गोवा इज वर्च्युअली बिकम अ परमनंट वेन्यू फॉर इफी. आनी हाजे मुखार गोंयांत इफी कशी आसची, इफीत कितें सुदारणा जावची आनी हातूंतल्यान गोंयकारांनी कितें घेवचें इफी कडल्यान, हें आतां आय थिंक वी शूड एक्सप्लोर दिस. Sachin, you were talking about the infrastructure in Margao.
Yes, we were just talking about 2 theatres. Yes. 18 crores will be spent. Now, what
18.5, I think, to be more exact.
Yes, 50 lakhs nowadays doesn't mean much from various points of view. But the point here is, how did they reach to that conclusion? I would be very interested to know, because this year, as we all know, the average occupancy at Ravindra Bhavan was less than 10%. It had about 1050 seats, about 100 people on an average.
Yes, agreed.
So what is the point in having more theatres there? We also have OCA multiplex there. Why don't they use that? Can't that 18.5 crores be spent more wisely? Is it a decision taken from the film festival point of view, or is it purely a political decision? How will you cater to more people there? What is the logic used? I mean, I just want to say one thing. If you can't drive a Maruti 800, don't go for a Ferrari. First, you should drive your Maruti 800 properly and then go for a Ferrari. And same thing is in Panjim also. You don't have to really increase the infrastructure. You can use Samrat and Ashok. If anybody has been there, it's not a bad theatre. They can just revamp it a little bit just before IFI and use that. So infrastructure is not a problem. And coming back to the same thing, that's why we don't want the government to run it and government to take decisions. In India, the typical problem is the policy makers don't face the consequences of what they do. We have an advisory committee which was formed by central government, by the INB minister. I want to know how many of those committee members spend a day as a delegate there. What hardship does a delegate face? How does he stand in a line? How does he book there? How does he get in? Is he getting food there? So from this point of view, nothing much has been done.
I also
know how important the delegate is basically. How important the delegate should be in the future.
आणि एक गजाल सांग, ती ताणें म्हणली मडगांवां इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेव्हलप करपाचें. कितें जाता की फिल्म फेस्टिवल म्हळ्यार कितें, एक ह्या वेळाच्या कमिटीन हांव आशिल्ल्यान म्हाका एक लक्षांत आयलें की दर वर्सा टॅक्नोलॉजी चेंज जाता. म्हणजे फाटल्या वेळार डिजिटल टॅक्नोलॉजी नाशिल्ली,
ह्या फावटी 3D आयली,
ह्या वेळ 3D आयली, एनिमेशन दाखयलें आनी डिजिटल करचें पडलें. सो आमकां ल्हान थिएटर बांदचीच पडटलीं. जातूंत भितर क्रावड पळोवन समजा एक 50 लोकांची 2-3 थिएटर आसची पडटलीं, 100 लोकां बसपी. तातूंत भितर नवी टॅक्नोलॉजी घालप हें चड सोंपें जाता. फाल्यां आज 3D आयली, फाल्यां 5D आयली, ऑलरेडी 5D आयल्या. सो ते टॅक्नोलॉजी तयार करचे पडटले. सो आमकां जर फिल्म फेस्टिवल जर करचें पडटलें जाल्यार हें सगळें इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर हाडचेंच पडटलें. आनी एक प्रश्न उरताच, फिल्म फेस्टिवलाचे पयलीं जर एक डिस्कशन दवरिल्लें आनी फिल्म फेस्टिवल जावचो काय ना तो चर्चा केल्ली न्ही, नाकाच म्हणपाक लोक. सो एक गजाल बरी आसा, कितें जाता की पॉलिटिशियन हे बरे काय वायट, आतां एक्सपर्ट हाडून बसयलो जाल्यार तो आपले तरेन विचार करता. पूण पॉलिटिशियनाक म्हजे कोतान 2 पावलां तो मुखार आसता आनी तो कांय गजाली करता आनी मागीर वेवस्था सुरू जाता. हें म्हाका दिसता भारता सारक्या देशान करपाची गरज आसा. आणि दुसरी गजाल,
पण आता रिगार्डिंग दोज 2 थिएटर्स इन मारगांव, आय फील दॅट इट वूड मेक सेन्स, in spite of what you're saying, that if the IFI next year screenings are held only in those 2 theatres and not in the 1000-seater Ravindra Bhavan, which could
like putting the cart in front of the horse.
I don't know whether it's the horse or the cart, but it makes, I mean, you'll have 50% occupancy in that
What
case.
nobody is talking about is the timings that were held in Margao. You're having a film at 11 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, the last film is at 5 o'clock.
Because nobody was paying attention to what was happening in Margao.
Well,
after the inaugural ceremony, there were a lot of delegates from Margao who were asking for the schedule of the films.
So these are points that have to be
not available anywhere in Margao.
It's there online. I mean, that it was not available in Panjim either, but it was available
in the first in Panjim.
But if somebody is a film lover, he can definitely find out that the schedule is online.
Yes.
And you can't really drag the film.
If they should have been available.
आणि एक ताणें सांगलें तें म्हाका पट्ट तें अशें की कितें जाता की दिल्ली एक कमिटी म्हणून करता. ती दिल्लीक बसता. दिल्लीक बसून ते फिल्म फेस्टिवल कशें आसता ते खंय कानाक गेल्ले असतात, बर्लिन गेल्ले असतात आनी त्या नदरेन ते हे करतात. तांकां ग्रासरूट लेवलाचेर कितें चलता तें खबर नासता. विशेषतः ताणें थंय ठरयलें की ना, तत्तू थरानी इज अ व्हेरी रिनाउंड कोरियोग्राफर, चेन्नई बसता. ताणें ह्या वर्सा सगळें डिझायनींग करचें. ताणें केलें एक डिझायन वेलोन दिलो, तो रिजेक्ट जालो. ताका लागून जालें अशें की लास्ट मोमेंटाक कला अकादमीची पळय जी कॉर्नेशन किंवा कला अकादमी परिसर जे सुशोभीत जावपाक तो जालो ना. सो भायल्या लोकांक हें मेळ्ळें ना. सो दोनूय भशेन कळ्ळें तुका की
फिल्म फेस्टिवलाचे एक्सपर्ट्स म्हणटा ते कोण, Are they filmmakers?
Very nice.
Or
Good
are
question.
they?
It
Who
has
are
to be
they
a combination
actually?
of everybody, and there has to be a point of view of everybody, but especially people from the film fraternity, journalists also who are actively participating in the festival, not sitting in Bombay and writing reports or things like that, who are actively participating in film festivals. And of course, you need officials also, because at the end of the day, it's government if it's going to fund it. So you need the government officials. So it has to be a combination of everything, and these things have to be renewed from time to time.
No, but another thing I would like to, I mean, what I know of is there's so many people who are organizing the Mumbai Pune Film Festival who are not actually filmmakers, who actually have come up, I feel, from the film society movement, who have been seeing good cinema all their lives.
Well,
Now in Goa, what has happened? I mean, if he should have been a nurturer of the film society movement in Goa. On the contrary, I feel that some film societies which were existing in Goa, they band padle.
As far as film societies are concerned, they were always run by the big filmmakers. So, I mean, it was not just people who started film societies. The first society was started by Satyajit Ray. Shyam Benegal is also currently the president of the society. So, filmmakers have always been involved in film societies. And even MAMI is largely run by professional filmmakers and other professionals. There isn't much of a government participation there.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that MAMI is foolproof. They have their own problems also.
But त्यांचं main
No,
problem
problems are
पैसे.
bound to be there, but then
त्यांचं main-
it's a
How do you
question
solve
of
it?
how
How do you solve it? And are you accountable for that problem?
Yes.
When the government is involved, there is not much of an accountability there. You know, they do as per their whims and fancies. You
As
just-
long as the top politicians get their VIP passes
Exactly.
and VIP car passes. I
coming
think
to the
it's
passes,
enough.
you
Top
just-
politician कोणी attend जायना.
No, but they get their passes.
That's
well, it's
true.
for their people, and you know,
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
cater to different people. We were just talking about passes some time back. I mean, we saw for the opening as well as for the closing what happens there. Passes are distributed as per their whims and fancies. People who are genuinely involved in films
They
or
don't-
writing about
don't-
films,
yeah.
they are running from pillar to post to get their passes. So it's not. This is not how it
So
should
म्हाका
function.
दिसता की जाणा
Now, what is the role of a journalist? Raju, tu as a journalist from the print media,
No, journalist
what is the
for-
role of a journalist as far as a film festival goes?
So
I mean, is it justified that a journalist gets to book 5 tickets for 5 films, whereas a delegate gets only tickets for 3 films?
व्हेरी बरो क्वेश्चन विचारतो म्हजे कोतान फिल्म फेस्टिवल हो जसो चित्रपट तयार करपी लोकांक महत्व तसो तो जर्नलिस्टांक महत्व आनी जगभर हे मान्य केलां की जर्नलिस्ट पार्टिसिपेशन चडांत चड आसचें जगभरच्यान येवचें एक बरें इंटरेक्शन जावचें आनी तांकां बरें फिल्म पळोवपाक मेळचें ताणें ताचेर बरोवचें कारण निमण फिल्म दाखोवप म्हणल्यार
ना
कितें
पूण
फिल्म
एक
दाखोवप
म्हाका एक
म्हणल्यार
हाजेर एक म्हाका अशें गोंयचे पेपरांनी फक्त शाहरुख खान, माधुरी दीक्षित, जॅकी श्रॉफ, प्रेम चोप्रा सुद्दां दिसलो. पूण बरे फिल्माची पर्संटेज जर काडली की बॉलिवूड तुमी कितले कव्हर केले आनी बरी फिल्म कितली कव्हर केली, आय हॅव नॉट टेकन द पर्संटेज.
नाही,
बट
तुका
वॉट इज
तुका आतां जर्नलिस्ट म्हणून म्हजो रोल सांगता मरे हांव आतां फाटलीं 5 वर्सां ह्या कमिटीचेर आसा. आमी इफी डेली म्हणून काडटात तातूंत सिरियस सिनेमाचेच बद्दल आयला आमी 10 दीस काडले. आमी दुसरो आनी एक कन्सेप्ट काडलो यंग ज्युरी एवॉर्ड दवरलो कारण सदांच एक क्रिटिसिजम जातालो की यंग भुरग्यांक कितें करतात तुमी. सो आमी कॉलेजींनी अनाउन्समेंट केली आनी तातूंतल्यान 12 भुरगे सिलेक्ट केले. समर नखाते म्हणटा तो एक बरो सिनेमा वयलो एक तज्ञ एक क्रिटीक ताका हांगा हाडलो. ताणें ताका 3 दिसांचे वर्कशॉप घेतले. ताणें सिनेमा पळयलो, ताणें एक सिनेमा वेचून काडलो. सो बरे सिनेमा हे अशें जातलेच. सुरवातेक अजुनूय तूं म्हणली 8च वर्स जाले गोंयांत. सो जर्नलिस्टूय बी इवॉल्व जातलो तातूंतल्यान अशें म्हाका दिसता. आज जरी जालो ना आनी आज जरी लोकांक पळय जे जाय अशे पॉप्युलर सिनेमाचेर जरी तो बरयता आसलो तरी हळू जर्नलिस्ट इवॉल्व जातलो. आनीक म्हाका दिसता एक 5 वर्सांनी प्रत्येक पेपरा कडेन एक बरो एक्सपर्ट आसतलो जो सिनेमा पळयतलो, जो बरयतलो, जो ते कल्चर डेव्हलपमेंट
पूण
करपा खातीर
प्रत्येक पेपरांनी जबाबदारी म्हणून अशी मनशाक खंय तरी वर्कशॉपाक धाडून फिल्म
हे
एप्रिसिएशन
करपाची
वर्कशॉपाक
गरज
धाडून
हें करपाची
एक
गरज
2 जर्नल एक मेन आनी एक
तुका
बॅकअप
तुका
अशें करून
तुका
तयार
तुका आतां
करचें.
म्हजी आमच्या पेपराची वडीक म्हूण सांगना पूण तुका सांगता आमच्या पेपरान 6 जाण एक्सपर्ट बरयताले. म्हणजे हे लोक मुंबयच्यान हांगा येतात तांकां कोणूय पेपरांनी कॉन्टेक्ट करूं येताले खरें म्हणल्यार. सो जाता कितें पूण तशें करना कॉलम बरयताले कांय जाण पत्रकार पूण त्या कॉलमान भितर पेरिफेरल एक्टिविटी चड सिनेमा बद्दल जवळ जवळ कांय नासतालें.
Another thing, Sachin, I wanted to ask you is, one thing is how much of Bollywood, how much of the South mainstream, or mainstream is not too different from Bollywood, and how much do you, I mean, appreciate the fact that some films which have so-called hot scenes in them draw huge crowds? I mean, what is
that used to be a reality once upon a time.
No, even this, if
not so much now. I mean, it will be there. It will always be there. I mean, you can't take it. It won't be zero ever. You can't remove that content. But the curiosity.
No, but there's a general impression for non-IFI viewers that people go there only to view these films, and that is.
I'll give you another example. You said about the hot content. Take the Bollywood film that was shown this year. Hindi film. Let's not call them Bollywood film. 3 Hindi films were shown. Sahi Dhande Galat Bande, Zindagi Milegi Na Dobara, and Shagird. Now, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, okay, it was a popular film that was shown. Shagird was released here in
Yeah.
Inox for 1 week. There were hardly 5-10 people there. But when it was shown here in the Indian panorama, there was a huge queue. There was an even bigger queue for Sahid Ande Galat Bande, which was again in the Indian panorama. And I was wondering, why is there such a big queue? And they said they're going to see Sahid Ande Galat. I said it was shown at Inox here. There were hardly 5 or 10 people. So why are so many people going there?
So why?
Probably they feel that because it has been selected in the Indian panorama,
There
then
will be
there must
some-
be something in
something
it. Like
extra.
how when a film wins an Oscar, everybody wants to see it. Why it won an Oscar? I mean, whether what content was there in it, that's a different story
पण एक
altogether.
गजाल यावेळची सामकी नोंद घेवपासारखी गजाल म्हणजे कितें ह्या वेळार भायर लोक कमी दिसताले
बाहेर लोक
भितर-
दिसत नाहीले जवळ
भितर
अशी
लोक-
दिसताले की लोक आयल्या
आयला
काय
काय नसो भितर प्रत्येक थिएटर फूल वताली पणजेतली आणि लोक सिरियस सिनेमा लोकांनी सगळे सिनेमा पळयले
But generally, I feel, I think you'll agree, generally the standard of films this year in IFFI
It was very high.
better than what we saw the
So
last
basically, we
2
need
to
to
3
understand
years.
why and how that happens. Because the larger content of IFFI, of any film festival here, is cinema of the world. Now, the films that were released from 2010 to 2011, if all around the world if people have made bad movies, you will get bad films.
Yeah.
If they have made good movies, you'll get good
ना पण
films.
अशें जायन तें ताका दुसरो एक एंगल आहा दुसरो एंगल कितें ऑर्गनायझेशन इफीचेर एक मेन टिका जाता इफी डायरेक्टरेटाचेर की ते इफीक 2 म्हयने आसा म्हळ्यार तयारी सुरू करतात फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक आतां आदरांजली किंवा कोणाची याद म्हणून जे
Tribute,
सिनेमा दाखयतात ते
homage,
वर्सभर तुमी पळोवपाक न्ही वर्सभर कोण बाबा ह्या वर्सा कोण भायर पडला तो पळोवन तागेलो सिनेमा काडप हें शक्य जाता पण ते 2 म्हयने आसपास सिलेक्ट
Yeah, but this year, I
करपाक
think,
I
especially from the
think, but
homage
this year
point of
there
view,
will be
they
a lot
did a
of
good job because
improvements.
including Bhupen Hazarika, Jagjit Singh,
Exactly. जे हाली
Elizabeth
भायर
Taylor,
गेले
everybody, no,
हय.
they covered the whole
So a
year.
lot of improvements and I think
so
we'll go on
हे पळय
improving,
वर्ल्ड
hopefully
सिनेमा
go on
वर्ल्ड
improving.
सिनेमा प्रॉब्लेम तोच जाता सिनेमा हाडप इज अ बिग प्रॉब्लेम अशें तांचें म्हणणें
And it's a lot of money
लॉट
also,
ऑफ
there are a lot of other
तांकां
things.
पिक्चर पयशे दिवन तांकां पिक्चर
Yes, of
हाडचे
course.
But Raju,
पडटा.
एक minute, as I think we are running short of time. Just as a last thing, I would like you, ह्या वर्सा सिनेमा बरो आशिल्ले. Sachin, which was the best film that you saw at IFFI this year? And could you just describe it in maybe 1 or 2 lines?
Well, I think there's a movie called The Artist, which everybody must see. And it's a very unique movie. Probably another movie like that will come in the next 70, 80 years because the last silent movie came around about that time. So this is a silent movie, actual silent movie, and shot in the same aspect ratio. When I say aspect ratio, means the length and the breadth of it. So they shot it as per how it would have been shot in the 20s. It's a silent movie about an actor, you know, when talkie movies come, so he starts fading down. It's one of the best movies you'll get to see, and I'll be surprised if it doesn't win an Oscar in February. So
I was lucky to watch that. I fully
I was
agree with
also.
you.
That's an ultimate-
Raju, तुझी दुसरी खंयची?
हांव तुमकां वेगळें सांगता हांव सांगता अशें की ह्या वेळार एक कॅरिडोस्कोप आशिल्लो रायट फ्रॉम मानसीक ताणतणाव धरून ते ड्रग प्रॉब्लेम धरून ते प्रॉस्टिट्यूशन धरून ते पॉलिटिकल इश्यूज आतां कितलेशे देशांनी राजकीय उलथापालथी जाल्यात ह्या वेळार म्हाका दिसता कॅरिडोस्कोप लोकां मुखार ओपन जालो जातूंत भितर वेगवेगळे विशय म्हणजे मानसीक गुंतागुंत धरून ते राजकीय स्वातंत्र्या खातीर चलिल्ल्यो चळवळी
But there were some true stories. There were a lot of things. I mean, we had
व्हेरी
The general
ब्युटिफूल
consensus
डॉक्युमेंटरीज
also
धरून ते 3D सुद्दां एक अशें ताणें केव्स दाखयल्यो ज्यो लोक सामके पळोवपाक
So,
मेळ्ळ्या सो इट वॉज
all in all, it was a good IFFI, and I think we should hope for better IFFIs. We are actually run out of time already. So, a good IFFI, hope for better IFFIs. Viewers, I think we have covered a lot of points about IFFI. हाजी मुखार आशा करया की IFFI आनी बरी जातली, IFFI गोंया उरतली आनी बरी जातली, मडगांवाय दाखयतले, पणजेय दाखयतले, प्रॉबेबली म्हापशा, वास्को IFFI पावतली काय ना म्हाका खबर ना. पूण I think with this short discussion on IFFI, we have, I mean, it's not a point of reaching conclusions, but we have discussed things I think in a good manner. I'll say goodbye to viewers, but come back and watch Journos Speak next week आणि पळयत रावात प्रुडंट मिडिया.